Hi, I'm Paris, and today's my first morning back out on the trails, back out in the woods in more than a month. In fact, it was just over a month ago, my last post I looked, and I had gone up to Seattle to help my father out with some medical issues, and to take a brief respite from that, my brother invited me to go over to Eastern Washington and got outside on the trails a little. It was a nice break before going back. But my father had been in and out of the hospital several times, and during the time I was there, his health just declined pretty rapidly, and about a week after that, he passed away. So there's been no time, and honestly, not much inclination to go out and to walk and to feel like refreshing and recovering and rejuvenating, or just like staying in where it's dark and trying to deal with all the feelings that you have, and dealing with all the things that need to be taken care of. As the oldest child, sort of fell to me to do all the funeral arrangements and to just tie up all the loose ends. There are so many, I guess, at the end of anyone's life. My father was very good about being organized and left all the files and left instructions on things, which I so appreciated. But even when you do the best you can, there's still a lot of stuff you didn't think of needs to be taken care of. And perhaps not surprisingly, day after the funeral, both my brother and I came down with some kind of cold. It's not COVID, took the test for that, but it's a tough one, and I'm going on almost 2 weeks now. I just can't shake it, which I guess there's something that people talk about, your body having to deal with so much stress. And when that eases up a little, your body is like, well, we got you through all this, so right now we need to take a little vacation, take care of stuff for ourselves. And so the immune system is on vacation, and whatever's around you comes in and sets up housekeeping. So it's nice getting back out here, feeling the breeze, hearing the birds. I've missed this, so it feels like it's the right time to come back and do this. Also the right time to come back to post again, because I've found over the years, especially the past few years, going through cancer treatments, that making a video really does help me to sort of synthesize and organize and I guess process the things that I'm going through. I hope the videos are helpful for other people, but I definitely know they're helpful for me. So the funeral was nice. It was at one of the few remaining funeral homes in Seattle. I was really surprised. My mother passed away 20 years ago, and at that time my father took care of the arrangements, but that funeral home was no longer in business. And the one that I ended up going with for my father's funeral, they're closing down next year because they said people don't have funerals like they used to, that they don't tend to have the observances there in the funeral home, the reception and so forth, and so they just really can't make a go of it financially, so they're selling the land. They have condos and apartments and retail put in. Now my father actually became less religious as the years went by, but my mother was very religious. I'm kind of religious. So we had a deacon run the ceremony, and he was a very old Irish priest who had served in the military. My father had served in the military and in Vietnam. So it was nice. He had some insight and could say some nice things, I felt. In the service, my brother gave the eulogy, which was very nice.
And he knew we were really struggling. It's not like we were living off the high of the hog or trying to take advantage. But I do remember him telling me one time that keeping me in poverty was costing him a fortune.
I put together a video about my father's years and set it to some music.
Oh, in this day, show me the ocean. When shall I see the sea?
And as I mentioned, my father was 20 years in the Navy and served in Vietnam, and so we arranged to have the ceremony done where, in his case, a couple Navy seamen came and played taps and took the flag and folded it and presented it to me. That was very nice too. As I mentioned, my brother and I both came down with something, got really sick right after the funeral. And the stress does not end there when you're the one who's the executor and the successor trustee, which I agreed to do, only to find out that some stuff was set up, but a bunch of stuff wasn't brought into the trust. And so many things to deal with when you're really not feeling up to it. So I had to actually go out and buy a book about how to administer a trust and take care of someone's things after they pass away. But thank goodness somebody wrote a book about it that I could buy for $20, because at $400 an hour, it would have been very expensive to have a lawyer teach me all the stuff I've learned reading the book. And maybe when I'm past the worst of it, I'll put together a video of what I learned in terms of taking over and settling someone's trust. But I can tell you that, because I remember when my father asked me if I would do it, I said, sure. And this book that I bought, pretty much the entire first chapter of it, over and over again asks you, are you really sure this is something you want to agree to do? And taking over, administering a trust is really the jury duty of family obligations, because with jury duty, most people don't want to do it, but it is a duty. It is something you feel like you need to do. And of course, it's just at the time when the family most needs to be together, especially when a parent has passed away, or in my case, when the second parent has passed away, because there's a loneliness, I think, that you feel when both your parents are gone, that you really couldn't imagine before who's left to love me in the way that my parents loved me. Sure, lots of other people love you, but it always comes with some judgment. But with the parents, you could count on whatever it was, they still loved you. That, I don't know how you get past. I guess it's just something that you have to accept. And sort of the double-edged sword of that is then realizing that if you have children, you're going to put them through that exact same thing. But I'm out here in the woods to recover and rejuvenate, not to dwell on existential emptiness. So life goes on, and I'm back on the trails because I have miles to go before I sleep. And I'll see you on the next review.
There is a sail out in the sun, and I'm on board, though very small. I've come home to stop yearning.